Next, Fahim Pashtoon Wadak, please have your speech about Afghanistan in the last decade and this school.
Welcome everybody, I'm Fahim Wadak, and I would like to present an objective analysis of Afghanistan. I have tried my best to be objective. Maybe some of the issues you would hear would seem subjective, but all of them, they have documents behind it. A warning for you. There are some images, they are real images of the pain of my people. So if some of you are light-hearted, please, you can leave the room or accept my apologies. Great leaders said, colonization is evil. This is what Gandhiji said. Doing wrong is evil, not being punished for wrongdoing is the greatest of all evils. This is what Socrates said. Apartheid is evil. Great Nelson Mandela said. I've been inspired by these three great leaders. And my life's political and analytical journey has started with these inspirations. Afghanistan's indigenously evolved democracy started in 1747. After 9 Jargas, Ahmad Shah Abdali was elected by that indigenously evolved Jargas or parliament in Kandahar, and he was called elected king. That's the time of 18th century. What happened to that country? What happened to that dynasty? What happened to that rule of the area? There are chronic problems with the Rani family. What happened? That Jurga, which brought to power a system of ruling the country and governing the country, was replaced with, the Jurgas were replaced with totalitarian or king's absolute rule. That happened with Ahmad Shah Abdali's son. Timur Shah's rule started. People were not communicated with by Pashto. If king was issuing, Timur Shah was issuing an edict, or his court was making any decisions, these decisions and these court rulings were not communicated to my village, to Kandahar, to Gomal, to Peshawar, to Badakhshan, to other areas. They were not communicated in Pashto language. So our people were left without any information from the state they were being ruled. And this destruction of two main pillars of state paved the way for absolute rule, vengeance, and anarchy. Then, in 19th century, colonization's evil cut us into pieces. Our nation's body was dissected in two parts in the 1950s. One part trying to make a body, which is today called Afghanistan, and the other part remained colonized since then, which is Peshawar up to Abbasin. This is how our body looks to us. This is how we feel. This is the feeling of an Afghan standing in front of you. This is how we feel. The colonization divided us into two pieces. Kabul and Peshawar were divided by a Durand line. Cold War came. 1960s, the US and its allies decided to destabilize Afghanistan. And according to Devil's Gate in Afghanistan's Untold Story, Alexander Bennigsen, a Russian, he went to CIA and told him to use Islam and particularly Naqshbandiya way of religion to destabilize USSR. And CIA used that one. And they came to Kabul, they went into Kabul University. That's not my speech, that's the research done by Debrecen. And the NGO called Asia Foundation, they contacted, or as the book calls it, leased Sabatullah Mujahideen's family, and they used them to influence mullahs and bring it against Zahir Shah's regime. ISI of Pakistan, CIA, China, Iran, Saudi and their allies supported the creation of Islamic extremism. And these people were supported in the Kabul University by Asia Foundation and the Secret Services. According to Debrecen, in Dawood's first year, 1973, 3 coups were organized by these 7 secret services against Dawood. And then that's the time when Hikmatyar, Masood, Rabbani, Khalis, these people, these Islamic extremists, they run away because their coup d'etats, 3 coup d'etats failed, they went to Peshawar. But we were fooled. I myself was fooled because I followed them once. I held a gun on my shoulder. They were my leaders because I was poisoned by their lies. Then stigmatization of patriots, antagonization, even killings of nationalists, patriots and leftists started in Kabul in the times of Zahir Shah. Once a commander from Sayaf, he's from my province, his name is Ustad Yasser, he said, Hikmatyar, give me a gun, and said, go and kill son of Zahir Shah. This is in Zahir's time. And he said, I refused. I said, why should I kill son of Zahir Shah? And this is the time when Qazi Hussain Ahmad was coming to Kabul, and he was giving them all the terrorist trainings, instructions, weapons, even acid. That acid that Masood and Hikmatyar hand in hand threw at the face of girls in Kabul University in 1970s, that was brought by Qazi Hussain Ahmad to Kabul under the pseudonym of drug trading. Islam's tenets were wrongly interpreted and made political and cultural opium and heroin, and the political and cultural opium made our people politically and culturally doped. This is what our people have been given and poisoned. And I'm one of those victims. How I clean myself from these poisons given to us. Because I was a young boy, my father was listening to BBC, to the Voice of America, to Radio Pakistan, Radio Iran. When they started their program with the holy verses of the Holy Quran, then my father would say, oh, this is a great radio. This radio will tell us the truth. But actually, these radios, these televisions, they were giving us poison, making those wrongdoers, those CIA, ISI agents, great people for us, making them like very innocent people. In actual, it was their people making us great for us. And these are the 4 types of thoughts I have analyzed. One is the thought of crime, human rights violation. The other, the thought of mafia. The other is the thought of isolation. You say, I don't want to do this. I'm scared people would kill me. And the other is take up arms and go to Pakistan and then come to jihad. And this is what all Afghans have been poisoned for the past 50 odd years. And every one of you, if you think you have heard what you have done, this is what the process have made us. Then USSR invasion started. That was a multifaceted invasion. Parcham, some Khalqis, Islamist extremists under the command of ISI, KGB, CIA and other allies, all carried the invasion. And they're all documented. This is all based on the documents released today. But those days we did not know. We thought, oh, Russians, they came themselves. But Brzezinski, CIA's head these extremists, Khalqis, Parcham, KGB, they all agree on what had happened in Afghanistan. Everybody fell a drop of the others. This is when I just jumped from civil war. I come to September 11. After September 11, this is what happened in Afghanistan. USA, when they invaded Afghanistan with its allies, they used warlords, human rights violators, and mass murderers against our people. 16,000 people were butchered in Mazar-e-Sharif. Bombings of villages, bombings of convoys happened. We thought these were all mistakes. But today, I believe they were not mistakes. They were part of a plan that 16 years or 10 years later, somebody would benefit from it financially. They forced our people, they killed our people, they burned our people, they burned Qurans, and I'm really sorry, they even urinated on dead bodies. These were all acts of deliberation. They were not single mistakes, because if you see the chronology of these events, anytime they have peace in Afghanistan, you see the Quran is being burned. Anytime you see people are not taking up arms, a warlord is committing a huge crime. Anytime you see there is peace in Afghanistan, people are going towards peace, a village is being bombed. Anytime you see people are going towards peace, a wedding is being bombed, a woman is being killed, a bride is being killed. And that's all part of gun culture and violence culture again, being taught to our minds, into our brains, even at the childhood. This is for our children, teaching them. I was a teacher in 1970, I believe it's 1987. I have taught this, but I didn't know what I was doing, because these material came all the way from Peshawar, and we were teaching them. Now I look at it and I say, I was part of this cycle of evil, because I was poisoned. I was put in that cycle. Now I look at it and I condemn those actions. But it was way beyond my power to refuse or to even comment, because anybody who commented against it, he was killed. This is again that poisoning of Afghan people. War on terror. Now we question what sort of war on terror it is. United States of America, they imprisoned more than 3,000-4,000 Afghans, from Taliban to whoever they named it. Till today, they have not found one guilty in the court of law to be complicit or to be a criminal in the killing of American people. They haven't found. They even exchanged those Taliban leadership prisoners. Now, as I say, Afghan people were forced to take up arms, and they were sent in the arms of ISI of Pakistan. These are the driving forces. What forces our people to go and take up arms? Those mass murders, those nitrates, those gun rapes, the warlords commit crimes, and the bombings of the weddings, burning of Quran, desecration of our people. These all force our people to take up arms. Why? Nobody gives them justice. Why justice is being denied? The reason, again, we were thinking it's a mistake, it's a process. But this was again a deliberate action to deny Afghan victims from justice and force them to take up arms. These are the examples. I will jump from these examples and I will give you some pictures. These are people, human beings like us. In just one bomb, they were killed. This is the bombing of a wedding. why it happened. It's not once, it's not twice, it's not 3 times. It's for the past 35 years. Russians were doing the same. United States and allies are doing the same. This is a bride from my village. I know her. She had nothing to do with Taliban or Al-Qaeda. In the night raid, in a close range, she was killed with her husband. Her husband wasn't even a Talib. He was just a former young boy. I feel the pain. I don't know how can I convey the pain of my people to you here. This is another bride. This is again from Wardak province, from my village. My people, I know them personally. My father and mother told me the stories. Why? Nobody can answer. They were not given justice. They were denied justice. You know what was the effect of these 2 killings? The whole village turned into Taliban. I send them messages, let's seek justice. Let's come to Kabul and seek for justice. And they give me examples of other families even in Kabul who were gang raped by warlords and told us, where is that family that's in Quetta? Has taken arms. Nobody gave them justice. They went to Karzai, to the government. They were denied justice, and forced to take up arms. Once you're forced to take up arms, this is General Atta, the evil king of North Afghanistan. He's aiming gun into a surrendered Taliban. He's not fighting, he's a surrender. And these are the young 16,000 Afghans, part of the state of the Taliban, whether you call them, whatever problems you have with the Taliban ideological, that's entirely your opinion. But why the surrendered young soldiers be butchered in the containers? 16,000 of them vanished by General Dostum, who is Vice President of Afghanistan, who is running Afghanistan today. And these were done under the CIA's eyes and ears. But again, we were thinking in the past, these are mistakes. I don't look at it mistake anymore. These were deliberate actions of victimizing Pashtuns in general, in particular, and some others to send them into the arms and then in the arms of ISI. These are young children. This is in Pune province. A bomb was dropped. They have got no other injuries. A sound effective bomb killed them, martyred them. This is the pain of my people. This is what happens. Nobody in the international community cares about our lives. But we still carry on. We still say these things that we are human beings, like any other human being in the world. How could Barack Obama stand shoulder to shoulder with France, which I support, but how could he morally justify a partnership with those who are about human rights violators and mass murderers in the killings and crimes against such my children, my members of family? They're human beings, imagine. What crimes have they committed? Why? Why we again question? I've been questioning this for the past 14 years, and these people all know me. They call me crazy. But that is crazy. Keep away from me. Yes, I am crazy. This is my craziness. Because I'm telling the truth. Telling the truth is difficult. Even I remember when I say the same things in 2007 in Foreign Office, a friend left my hand and said, keep away from me. Because you tell the truth, British people would kill you, and I don't want to be killed with you. And I said, they wouldn't kill me because they hear the truth. Those people here, they have to be influenced. The same way Nelson Mandela influenced them, the same way Gandhiji influenced them. To tell them the truth, these people are also being kept away from the truth as we are being. These people in the West are also being poisoned as we are poisoned. with poisonous information. This is, again, the burning of dead bodies of Afghans. And they put on media, in the past I was thinking this was a mistake, but I still believe, now believe, after all research, that this is a deliberate action. Why? The victimized Pashtun, deny them justice, send them in the arms of ISI to take apart and come back, and somebody's going to profit from it, somebody's going to make money. $1 trillion booty, where did it go? And I'm coming to that.
Okay, you have 2 minutes left.
Okay, can you give me some more time?
No.
Drones and weapons. Again, is Afghanistan a testing, developing area for drones, new weapons and arms technology? Taliban and terrorists? They are based in Pakistan, Iran, and supported by ISI and supply hostile Iran. This is how, when my child goes to Peshawar and Quetta, he's been denied justice, taken arms, he's been made a suicide bomber. Where is he coming back? This little girl, he's coming back to kill my people. And then they call it insurgency, they call it terrorism, they call it extremists. But who are behind it? These are the children killed by that suicide bomber who was victimized by either CIA, ISI, or a warlord like Dostum and Mohatif or Abdullah. He came back and killed his own people because he was poisoned. These are Ningrahar. Human rights. Again, people call about human rights. They're all shorts. They're all problems. Because our human values, life values, have been changed into glorification of death, glorification of martyrdom. If you go to any Afghan funeral, wedding, school, anywhere, if somebody's died, somebody's killed, he's innocent, what they say, Dua kare Khudai di wati shaheed. Khudai ko huni wakri, khairatuna wakri. Nobody's saying, everybody says martyr, he would have 72 virgins and make for him a lot of sacrifices. Nobody's asking for justice. Why? Because justice voices the victim's voice, and nobody's allowing that one. And I'm the only one raising that voice. Why? Because that crime took away my 16-year-old brother, that dried up my mother's tears. And she's asking justice. Millions of other members of the families, mothers, fathers, they're asking justice. But if you go to community, nobody's asking justice. Everybody's saying what? Dua kare Khudai di wati shaheed. What's that? Shaheed ta dua zarurat lari. De ta gunahkar gunaah ta zarurat lari. Nahi lari. Ah, Khudai bakala shaheed de. تدك عضلات ورا تا هر جمعه منځ کې وایي ان الله یامرکم بالعدل والاحسان او دا خبره پرېږدئ چې دعا خلاصې شي ان الله یامرکم بالعدل والاحسان خبره پرېږدئ دعا وکړئ خیراتونه وغواړئ شهید دی هورې به خدای ورکړي هغه خدای هورې ورکوي شهید تا مسؤلیت دا نه دی د هورو ستاینه وکړئ Farkhunda's case. Again, why Farkhunda? The same poison. I'm sorry, I'll run it. This is what happened. And this is what the government officials glorify our killings. These are the people, they're in Kabul. Why they committed these crimes? Poison. Religion tenets were made into political and cultural opium and heroin. Narcotics and drugs is again in the hands of warlords like Dostum, like other generals, and CIA's and ISI's people. They say ISI of Pakistan's income 40% has dropped because it's going to the north of Afghanistan. Security forces, I want to talk about it. And finally, this is what we look at it. The two dinosaurs are killing our people, and they are both controlled by power elite, arm manufacturing companies, and some secret services. And that's what the killing of my people are happening at the hands of two evils. One evil is put in control of Kabul, the other evil is put in control of Pakistani military, and my people are being killed. And this is what the conclusion is. In modern era, support for the wrongdoings of colonization like Duran Line and support of ISI and friendship of Sapa is the father of the greatest evil of all. Making the wrongdoers like Dostum Abdullah and Muhaqqib the ruler of the victims is the mother of the greatest evil of all. US and NATO blood and treasure are wasted for the profit of a very few. Now, after 35 years of war, so many atrocities and mass killings of our people, we Pashtuns Afghans feel that we are victims of a long-term and ugly genocide. Recommendation: we want the destruction of the incubators and training camps and terrorists and suicide bombers inside Pakistan and Iran. Their mentors, financial supporters like ISI Sapa should be brought to justice and pay compensation for the Afghan victims. We want the immediate arrest and trial of mass murderers, human rights violators, warlords, war criminals of the past 35 years in the Hague and International Community, and International Court of Justice. The rest of warlords, human rights violators must be, the assets of the warlords and human rights violators must be confiscated and distributed to the victims as compensation. We want the erosion and destruction of the evil colonial Duran Line to complete the Afghan body. We want the termination of wrong bilateral security agreement. It's actually unilateral security agreement, and end of US and NATO's military presence in Afghanistan. We want the night raids to be carried out on terrorist incubators, fathers, ISI, and Iran's secret services. We want a proper increase in the development projects to rebuild Afghanistan. This is the message of humanity and civilization, which is on the progress, saving the globe from the menace of extremism, terrorism, human rights violators, and criminals. And there are very good signs of it globally. No one can stop it. If you're listening, this is my message to the global community, to Barack Obama, to David Cameron, NATO leaders. If you're not listening to us, then your behavior is evolving to the one of occupation. We feel we are occupied. What makes different from occupiers and oppressors? Thank you very much.